flexible is really hard for all of us, but for our kiddos, it is sometimes feeling impossible. And the good news is you can actually teach flexibility. And I remember when my daughter was very young, she had these puppets and she would sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and she'd go through four animals, and they always had to be in the same exact order. And they always had to be her doing all the animals. And so we did a program and went through what we're going to teach you today, what to do to teach your child flexibility. And within 2 months, she was able to go through and share the animals with other people. And then she was also able to change up the order of the animals. So it's really neat to see how this can make a big change in a very short time. So Dr. Regina Crone came up with teaching flexibility, and it's in a worksheet, a printable, and she's going to explain that to you now.
Okay, so flexibility is a life skill. This is one step towards a whole path of getting you to adulthood and being able to be flexible. And so this is such an important thing that we need to start in small incremental steps. And so one of the things that we look at with defining what flexibility is. So flexibility is not just change. Flexibility is change and being okay with it. Okay, that's what we're teaching. We're not just teaching schedule changes. We are teaching the ability to understand and know that I'm going to be okay when this changes and doesn't go as planned. Kind of like what Julie was sharing, that is a pattern I see with kids all the time, is they like that familiarity, they like that routine, they find comfort in that. And so being purposeful and teaching flexibility can help them cope better when that flexibility needs to happen in a way that's spontaneous and maybe not planned. So this skill set is a skill for life, and it starts with first steps. And these are first steps. Teaching flexibility. Here's a little worksheet just to print off to kind of help prompt you through what that looks like, and start small. So again, not, the big impromptu flexibility that we're looking for, but start really small. Maybe it's making a plan that we're going to drive a different direction today, right? Or maybe it's a plan that we're going to eat our food in a different order today, right? So you can kind of just start, and you can make it fun. Hey, you know what? Today we're going to eat 3 M&Ms before we eat our broccoli. What? That's fun. Whatever it might be, just to kind of get things out of order, but start talking about them, about kind of predicting what could change or what's going to happen. So here's an example. You can use this as a little worksheet or platform to talk from, or you don't have to write it. Sometimes it's just helpful just to even point and talk through it as a worksheet. But we're going to write something. The example I have up here is, I plan to go outside and play, right? But then if it rains, right, kind of give that as a problem. If it rains, what would happen? Well, I'd have to play inside instead, right? So that's kind of like an understood, if it's raining, I can't go out to play. So now bridge into something different, right? Okay, so I plan to take a right out of our driveway, right? But today I'm going to take a left. Right? What if mom takes a left? What is my coping going to be? What is that going to look like? And so you can kind of even talk about some of these things. Or I plan to eat my vegetables first before dessert. But what if mom tells me I can eat my M&Ms first? Right? What am I going to do, and what's my plan? I'm going to eat it. So we just start out really, really simple, and then we get more complex, right? So what if I want to watch my favorite TV show, but the remote's out of batteries, right? Then now we start walking through, the TV's not going to work until we buy new batteries. And what can I do instead? Or what's next, right? And so really just starting that anticipation that when things change, how do I start to think about being flexible? So when it happens, we can use the word flexible. So teach the word flexible. And what that means is change that happens that I'm okay with it. And that's what we want to teach, not just the tolerance of change, right? We want them to teach some strategies and anticipating how they're going to have a plan to be okay with it. So teaching flexibility in that manner is going to be a skill for life.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we did that really helped, and this may seem silly, but we actually turned the word flexible into a sing-songy thing. And so every time because it triggered her to know that I was going to be asking for something from her, something change. And we would say, okay, it's time to be flexible. And it's almost like that cued her in to knowing, okay, this is what we're working on, because it is a life skill that you do have to continue on to work forever, as far as I'm concerned. But huge, huge progress can be made. And those little steps help.
One more thing. So I think what we're trying to do is kind of before you encounter the stress of change,
Mhm.
is making sure they have kind of a history of those coping skills. So
Mhm.
flexibility doesn't mean all the things I was looking forward to aren't available. It
Yeah.
becomes like a big no,
Yeah.
right? And that's where we start to see problems and problem behavior and stress. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're setting the platform for practicing flexibility and not being a negative experience, but a positive experience.
Absolutely. Thank you. Be sure to print everything out. That link is on the website. Have a sunny day.
Right.